Hello everybody and welcome back to the History of Ninja Gaiden Part 2. First things first, this is a Patman QC PSA. Could you all check and make sure you are still subscribed to my channel? I keep getting various reports that YouTube is automatically unsubscribing people from my channel, so I don't know what the problem is. So if you would kindly check your subscription status, I would appreciate it. While we are on the subject, if you are enjoying any of my videos, be sure and give me a like. It only takes a few seconds and I would really appreciate it. The second order of business, which I heard from a lot of you, is the proper pronunciation of the word wii-u. Apparently, I'm the silly goose because I am not pronouncing it properly. After reading all of your comments and then doing my due diligence, let's all learn the word together. Wii-u, wii-u, wii-u. There we go. I have now learned the proper pronunciation of the word. Thank you, YouTube. Now on with the show. Almost 10 years after the last release, 2004 brought us the release of Ninja Gaiden for the original Xbox. This game sees Ryu on a quest to retrieve the Dark Dragon Blade and avenge the death of his clan. Initially, the game was set to be a reboot or reimagining of the original game, but in later interviews, the developers said this was intended to be a prequel. The first thing you noticed after actually getting into the game is how tight and responsive the controls are. The game made a successful leap from 2D to 3D, which a lot of developers struggle with, but Team Ninja were able to pull it off. You start with a small arsenal of moves, and as the game progresses, your skill set grows along with eventually 8 different weapons, such as nunchucks and the warhammer, among others. There are also shurikens and a bow with several different arrows to use. Ryu can also run and jump along walls and also run across water. You also have Ninpo, which is basically 4 different ninja spells. Every enemy you kill leaves a colored essence behind. Red and blue will refill your health and magic, while the yellow ones are currency to buy weapons or bracelets. The cutscenes are also back and they look and sound fantastic. As I mentioned, the gameplay is really good but also extremely difficult. You also have the ability to block and evade, and you'll have to master these techniques if you wish to progress very far into the game. The violence and gore are pretty intense with lots of blood and even some decapitations. It's good old-fashioned family-friendly entertainment. The only problem I had with the game was with the camera, but that was to be fixed in a later release. The Ninja Gaiden trilogy that was on the Super Nintendo was also included as a bonus unlockable. In 2005, Ninja Gaiden Black was released and features some significant improvements to the existing game. A couple of DLC packs were released for the original title that were incorporated into this one. First off, the camera has been reworked with the right stick being able to freely move around the player for the optimal viewing experience. There are also new, more difficult enemies to kill, as if the first game wasn't hard enough. Among the other improvements, from combos, to health, to hidden items, is Ninja Dog mode, which is an easy mode for all the people, myself included, that complained that the game was just way too hard. Perhaps if this one is still too hard, you can also try the Ninja Goo Goo Gaga mode. There are also other unlockables such as costumes, but only if you play on normal mode or higher. 50 new challenges are included, which greatly increases the length of the game. Since the Ninja Gaiden trilogy was included on the original release, the arcade game is bundled with this one instead. Some new cutscenes have been included, which are always a welcome addition. Overall, the game is a massive upgrade and improves upon every aspect of the original. 2007, the game was released once again, but only this time on the PlayStation 3 with upgraded HD visuals. The name of the game was Ninja Gaiden Sigma. The game is very similar to Ninja Gaiden Black, although this time Rachel is a playable character. By the way, if these are the kind of girls that are attracted to ninjas, I'm going to start training to be a martial artist as soon as I'm done with this video. Wii-u does have a few new weapons, such as a pair of dual-wielding swords. One unique feature to the PS3 is the ability to shake the controller, which increases the damage of their ninpo spells. They have also added a mission mode, which is set in small areas but greatly increases the length of the game. There are a number of objectives such as kills achieved, speed clearing the round, etc. You can also customize Ryu's outfit and Rachel's hairstyle, among others. Ninja Gaiden finally returned to a Nintendo console with the DS release of Ninja Gaiden Dragon Sword. A unique feature of the game is that you have to hold the DS vertically, with the left screen showing the map and the right screen showing the gameplay. You use the stylus a lot in this game, including activating your ninpo, tracing symbols on the screen, and tapping the screen, which will make Ryu do certain tasks. The graphics have been downgraded considerably from its big brother, but it still looks pretty good on an actual Nintendo DS. All of the blood and decapitations have been removed as well. The controls have been simplified, and so has the difficulty, as the game is extremely easy, especially when compared to the previous entries. Still though, the game was fun to play. Ninja Gaiden Sigma Plus was released in 2012 for the PlayStation Vita. This is very similar to the 2007 PS3 release, but it does feature an easier mode called Hero, which is similar to Ninja Dog. It does take advantage of the Vita's gyroscope, which allows for first-person aiming by tilting the unit, and also the touchscreen controls allowing for Ryu to unleash more powerful ninpo. Once again, you can customize Ryu and Rachel with upgraded accessories. Ninja Gaiden 2 was released for the Xbox 360 in 2008. If you thought the previous entry was violent and gory, then you haven't seen anything yet. Ryu now has the ability to sever limbs and tear his enemies apart with blood all over his sword and everything around him. Just because you damage your opponent and sever one of his limbs doesn't mean he is any less dangerous. He has the ability to plant a shuriken on himself, which will explode and do damage to your player. If you block at just the right time, you can avoid the hit. A very nifty concept. Ryu still has his Dragon Sword, but he does get new weapons such as the Dragon Claw, Tiger Fang, and the Eclipse Scythe, among others. He also has new ninpo spells such as the Art of the Wind Blades and the Art of the Piercing Void. Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2 was released the following year for the PS3, including the ability to run it at 720p. Among the various upgrades is the ability to play co-op online and also 3 new playable characters. The controller is not used to power up your ninpo any longer, but has a secret way to jiggle the breasts of the female characters. What a world we live in. Most of the blood and gore were removed from this game. severed limbs no longer stay on the ground but disappear soon thereafter. Cinematics have also been censored with the removal of dismemberments. There are 3 new chapters in this version along with 5 new bosses. Honestly though, you should play this just for the jiggling alone. The PlayStation Vita also received a new version titled Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2 Plus, which restored all of the gore except in the Japanese version. It also included a couple of new modes such as a ninja race and tag missions. Ninja Gaiden 3 was released for the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 in 2012. One of the updated features is called Steel on Bone, which is a visual trick allowing you to slice through an enemy's body in a slow motion sequence. Stealth has now been introduced as Ryu can now sneak up on enemies and kill them with a single blow. As the game progresses, Ryu gets different swords but also has his bow and arrow and shurikens. Instead of the dragon statues that were found in the previous entries which allowed you to save your game and heal, a falcon will now swoop down allowing you to save at certain points in the level. The Ninpo has also been revamped which allows you to transform into a giant dragon of fire, killing everybody on the screen and restoring all of your health.
Please help me! We need backup.
Ninja Gaiden 3 Razor's Edge was released for the Nintendo Wii U in 2012 and the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 in 2013. The game makes use of the Wii U gamepad with its touchscreen controls allowing you to select different weapons, perform ninpo attacks, etc. Dismemberment and decapitations have made their triumphant return to this game. Ryu has new weapons and new ninpo spells. The game does feature online co-op play with 4 new playable characters. An iOS and Android version was released in Japan in 2012 titled 100-Man Nin no Ninja Gaiden. This looks like a pretty good game, especially for the platform, but everything is in Japanese. So the only thing I know about the game is how to properly pronounce Ryu. Honestly though, it does look like a typical card-playing game. A North American version was scheduled, but it never made it to the market. In 2014, a spin-off to the main series was released titled Yaibo Ninja Gaiden Z, and was released for the PlayStation 3, Windows, and Xbox 360. The gameplay is similar to previous Ninja Gaiden games with the ability to hack and slash, run, block, and evade enemies. Instead of the main character being Ryu, you take on the role of Yaibo, a powerful ninja who confronts Ryu Hayabusa and is subsequently killed. He is brought back to life as a cyborg, seeking revenge on Ryu. I never had a chance to play this back in the day, so with my 2020 goggles on, this game still holds up and is a lot of fun. More of a mashup between God of War and Ninja Gaiden, but still fun to play, and the storyline is very unique. The graphics are nicely done with plenty of on-screen enemies with hardly any slowdown. The controls are nice and tight and it feels magical, just like Ninja Gaiden should. Since Team Jiggle, Team Ninja, developed both the Dead or Alive series and the Ninja Gaiden remake, it made perfect sense for the two worlds to cross over. And Dead or Alive, Ryu Hayabusa and eventually a few of his supporting characters would make the transition from hack and slash adventure to the one-on-one fighter. Ryu and a few of his friends show up in the Dynasty Wars series, although I have never played them. Ryu's costume, titled Hayabusa Ninja, is an alternate costume for Max in Super Swing Golf Season 2 for the Nintendo Wii. And finally, Ryu's armor can be unlocked in the game Halo 3, which is titled Hayabusa. Going back to the original conversions of Ninja Gaiden for just a few minutes, let's talk about the TurboGrafx 16 or PC Engine version. This was done by Hudson Soft and is a straight-up conversion of the original NES version. It does take advantage of the PC Engine's higher resolution, so the cutscenes have been redrawn and look really nice. The graphics are a bit more detailed in certain spots with more color, but the animation is just a bit off. When the controls worked properly, they felt great. However, the collision detection is pretty bad in certain points. Overall though, it still feels like Ninja Gaiden despite all of its flaws. Whenever I think of competent video game companies that would have the necessary skills to convert the NES Classic over to MS-DOS or the Amiga platforms, of course I think of GameTech, makers of such classic hits as Pressure Luck, The Price is Right, American Gladiators, and more. Unfortunately, this appears to be another botched port. For whatever reason, Ryu wants to stand out from the crowd and his new ninja suit has the same color as a traffic cone. While the resolution has been improved just a bit, the animation is way too choppy. The original game was fast and smooth, but this one is just a herky-jerky, quirky mess, no matter which platform you are playing it on. The MS-DOS port does allow quick saving at any time, and also has 2-button controls unlike the 1-button control found in the Amiga version. The sound effects and music are much better in the Amiga port. The collision detection on both ports are absolutely atrocious. Ninja Gaiden 3 was also released for the Atari Lynx in 1991. Surprisingly, they were able to cram everything from the NES version into the small cartridge. All of the characters, backgrounds, and cutscenes made it over, and it looks pretty good on the system. Now when I say cram, I mean cram, because the sprites have all been reduced in size and sometimes everything tends to blend together. It took me a few minutes of playing before my eyes adjusted to it, but once it did, it was a pleasurable experience. What wasn't so pleasurable were the sound effects and music. I think I've heard better tunes coming out of the bathroom on Taco Tuesday. Overall though, the game plays exactly like it should, which is classic Ninja Gaiden. A couple of you mentioned the Tiger LCD Ninja Gaiden game, and although I don't own one, I was able to dig up the commercial, so here it is just for you.
Tiger puts arcade action in the palm of your hand. Games like Ninja Gaiden. As the ultimate ninja, use your spin, jump, and fire wheel to destroy your enemies. But watch out, you must pick up the red power boost that will keep you alive through 9 levels of action. Also available, Tiger's Ninja Gaiden wrist game for the time of your life. Tiger LCD video games. Video excitement in the palm of your hand.
Ninja Gaiden franchise is fondly remembered from retro gamers to modern gamers. The original 8-bit trilogy are bona fide classics, and any fan of the action-adventure genre should have these in their collection. Yes, the games were frustratingly hard, but when you finally did complete the games, you felt a sense of accomplishment similar to beating Mike Tyson in Punch-Out! Whether it's the arcade game, the 8-bit trilogy, or the more modern take, the games are extremely fun and extremely difficult. If you've never had a chance to try the series out, give it a shot. You'll be glad you did. If you like this video, be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and let me know what you liked or disliked about the video. Also, if you'd like to support me on Patreon, please click the link below. Thanks for watching.